John McCaig here. How you doing, everyone? Jesus Christ Trust had that. I thought I would go on live today and go into a few things that are happening. The sheriff of Sarasota County here recently put up a video advocating that anyone should take out a gun and murder anyone if they think their property rights are being in any way, shape, or form being taken advantage of. The only people taking advantage, like he's talking about squatters. So the only people stealing property on a regular basis is sheriffs and marshals and the government. So it seems like the sheriff of Sarasota County is advocating for everyone to murder the sheriffs and the police. So I think the sheriff of Sarasota County is trying to start a war, a civil war of the people versus the enslavers, the paid assassins that work for the devil, the sheriffs, the police, the marshals, the military, all the paid assassins. That's what the sheriff of Sarasota County has begun a civil war. Because, the bank never signs a document, not ever. And so every foreclosure happens illegally. Every single one of them in the entire United States, every foreclosure happens illegally, right? So if you talk about squatters, who are the squatters? The police, the sheriffs, the marshals. That's who the squatters are. So the sheriff of Sarasota County said that if the sheriff, because they're the squatters, right? They're showing up to steal property, that people should begin to murder sheriffs, marshals, military, police, SWAT, all that. Because they're the only ones stealing and squatting on property is them. Because the bank doesn't have any paperwork to foreclose on any property, right? Because the bank never signs a document. So the sheriff of Sarasota County, that's the county I'm in Florida, has started a civil war, is advocating a civil war against the sheriffs, marshals, military, police, SWAT, against the government. Crazy. That's amazing. But that's not really the point of this video. This video is about, the story of Jesus Christ died on the cross, right? Now, it's kind of this whole thing about Jesus Christ, the story in the Bible and everything. It kind of reminds me of voting, right? And there's a good quote about voting, which I really like. Alan shared this with me when we were in India. It's a really appropriate quote. And it says, "If voting were legal, if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you do it, right? If voting made any difference, it would be illegal. They wouldn't let you do it. You see what I'm saying? So they never count votes. Let's get real. This is Mark Twain. Yeah, did I say Mark Twain? Maybe I did it. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, Alan pointed out that quote, right? So everyone in the United States is simply a slave. That's all of the government. We're simply slaves. That's all we are, and that's all we're ever going to be. That's all. That's all there is up in this place. And so think of it this way: if the Bible, right, if it were a real document, would they allow you to have the Bible? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like that Mark Twain quote. The Bible's in every motel room, hotel room. You hear about this book all the time, right? And so if it made a difference, right? If it made a difference, would they let you have it? You see what I'm saying? So we have to examine the Bible and this crucifixion, this fiction. It's named a fiction. I didn't name it a fiction. That's what it's called. It's called a fiction. Jesus Christ fiction, right? A cross, cruci means cross. So they're talking about the fiction of the cross. Honestly, the if I hadn't met with Jesus Christ, I still wouldn't believe in Jesus Christ at all. You know what I'm saying? Not even a little bit. But since the police and all the people who had tried to murder me, like the sheriff of Sarasota County, has sent deputies to murder me. I don't know about you, but the sheriff and a judge uh, has attempted murder on me. They've attempted murder on me. You see what I'm saying? I've definitely had them come and try and murder me. And who stops their hand? Jesus Christ. I sign a trust with Jesus Christ and I can't be killed. It's not like the sheriffs and the deputies and the police and all them in Sarasota County haven't tried to murder me. They have tried to murder me. They have tried several times to murder me. Okay. And this is the advocate, right? Sheriff of Sarasota County has definitely sent the order to murder me. And the cops show up, the deputies have showed up and have attempted to murder me. I'm just saying that's a fact in my life. And they definitely have put their hand on their gun, come to me on Nokomis Beach, six deputies, and attempted to murder me. Yes, this was a few years ago. They definitely have attempted to murder me. And so God, Jesus Christ, wouldn't allow them, right? Because I signed a trust with Jesus Christ, wouldn't allow them to murder me. I've also been in the courtroom where a judge has attempted to cage me and chain me, four-armed bailiffs frozen in place in a courtroom because I'm signed with Jesus Christ. That's just the reality of my life. Because the saying that no good deed goes unpunished, that's 100% true. And the better a deed, you know what I'm saying? Like because it's like good, better, best, right? The best deed, right, gets the severest punishment. Do you see what I'm saying? So the best deed you could possibly do for someone else gets the absolute most severe reaction from the police, the government, and so on, and every single one of them worships the devil. And so, the best deed you could possibly do will get the most severe reaction. Now, I've been working in Sarasota County for many a year on showing people how to get a free home by using the name Jesus Christ. And I'm going to put a course up on Jesus Christ Trust.net explaining all those details in detail. That's right. I'm going to put that up by April 15th. And so I've talked about this for years, and I've come up with a solid plan on how to do this exactly step by step and everything. Uh, when I was in India, of course, they may not read my mind anymore because I have the universal mind, right? But they read everybody else's mind and know what's up. They know what's up. They know what's coming. They know what's going to happen. We're in a 64-year time loop, and the script never changes. So the sheriff of Sarasota County knows I live in Sarasota County, knows I have the information to take real estate for free, and knows that, it's his job to start a civil war, right? The regular humans versus the evil, paid assassins, the sheriffs, the deputies, the police, the military, SWAT, all them, right? All them, they're just pure evil and knowingly, willingly have decided to worship the devil. They've told me to my face. They've acted on it. They've tried to murder me. So I'm just saying that's the reality of our reality. Now, but let's look at the Bible and find out, could Jesus Christ have lived? No, that's not possible, right? No, Jesus Christ could not have lived. That's not possible. That's not possible. First of all, we're in a 64-year time loop, right? Nothing makes sense unless you accept we're in a 64-year time loop that repeats infinitely. And I do mean that word, infinitely. In other words, world without end, right? That's the way prayers go. World without end. Amen. Right? History repeats itself. That's all a fact. And people are like, yeah, but I remember blah. Okay. You remember blah from your youth, from before 1969. Well, you have thoughts all day, every day. You can't create thoughts. What's the difference between a thought and a memory? Nothing. They're implanted in, they come to you. That's it. You don't create them. No, doesn't happen that way. No. So, let's look at the math. Let's look at a few different facts out there. So, real estate stayed the same price for several thousand years, right? Since the invention of money, real estate basically stayed about the same price for thousands of years. Didn't cost any more or less, nothing like that. Nothing costs more or less. Everything's the same price for thousands of years. For all history, nothing went up in price. That's what we're led to believe. Or so little fluctuation in price that it really never basically changed. And then all of a sudden, starting in 1970, the price of real estate shoots up, right? Every day real estate gets higher. So if you bought a house, say in 1970, you paid maybe, let's say, $5,000 for it, like a nice house, a really nice house, super nice house in a great neighborhood, you know, like that house is going to be worth $1.5 million today. And so wait a second, 1970. So it's 2024. That's only 54 years. It went from $5,000 to $1.5 million for a house, right? That's just one of the numbers I'm using. I'm using the numbers for the house that I grew up in suburb of Maryland and DC area. Those are just the numbers of the house I grew up in. So, but every other house has similar numbers. It costs, say, $1,000, $2,000, something like that in 1970, and then all of a sudden, it has a similar price change to now. How's that possible? That for several thousand years, price of real estate the same. And then 1970 goes off the charts. I guess it was a few months ago. I asked my mom, like, how come, you know, everyone, her and everyone in her generation is so fucking stupid? Honestly, how come no one can figure this super basic facts of life out? I don't understand. I really just don't understand. Like, and she's a mathematician. She taught math. She taught math like in grade school, but still, this isn't hard math. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can in 1970 real estate just goes up and up and up, and before that, flatline, thousands of years? I don't understand. The only way that that could have happened is if all history is 100% fake. And you start looking into history and you realize all the stories are stupid. They're insipid. They're worse than stupid. They're insipid, right? It takes such a horrible story, and then it presupposes that you're going to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's expecting you, the human, is so fucking stupid. You see what I'm saying? So stupid that you're going to go for all the history lies. History presupposes that level of stupidity of humans. That was my question for my father's dead. I would have asked him too, but my mother's alive, and she called me. I'm like, "How can you think this is real? Any of this stuff? I don't. What? How can anyone grow up and live decade after decade and think all of this is real? I just don't understand. How could an entire species be so stupid?" That was my question for my mother. And it's my question for everyone, really. How could everyone be so stupid? I don't understand it. Help me out. Anyway, oh, Alan, some people will claim because we went off gold standard, but I can't make sense of that answer. I can't either. I don't see how that makes real estate just rocket. Yeah, dude, I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, they had all different kind of monies in America for different times and stuff like that according to their little script, and yet only just went off the charts in 1970. From then on to today, just up and up and up. I don't How stupid do you have to be a human and believe any of this nonsense? We're on a ball, it's spinning at 999 miles an hour, it's tilted at 66.6 degrees, it's going around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. The curve is uh, 600. I mean, it's just 666 is just their entire script. I don't see how so many adults can sit there and go for this. I just don't understand. And so then we must look at all these past characters in history, including Jesus Christ, right? I just don't see a bit of fact in any of that story whatsoever. You know, Jesus is supposed to come into Jerusalem. This would have been last Sunday, right? Palm Sunday. Thousands of people, a large part of the population of Jerusalem's like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ is here." They start throwing things. He's in a donkey, okay? He's just going through the street on a donkey. And they start being like, "Oh my God, let's be super thankful that he's here." And then what? On Friday, that was Sunday of the same week, okay? Same week. And now we're on Friday and they murder him on a cross. That's the story. That's the story. See, I could totally buy that part. You see what I'm saying? Nailing somebody to a tree to murder him, and they didn't do anything wrong. I 100% can see that. I don't have no problem with that part of the story because all I'm treated like is like shit for my whole life, basically. If you're interested in the truth that you're actually helping people, and I've been doing this work now and helping people for 12 years just on a donation basis. I've been doing it for 12 years straight. And the government knows it too. And have tried to murder me. I met the devil many times. I just filmed the devil, right? I just filmed the devil on my last, second to last video on Liberty Aid Academy. I went live, and there's Adam right there, right in front of me. Filmed the devil. Filmed the devil. Put up a video of the devil. Who does that? You see? I met with the devil many times. The devil takes many forms, right? Many people call the devil the god of this world. Uh, and I would say 99.9% at least of the population of Earth also agrees and treats the devil like the god of this world. That's true. They all go along with the laws. They look into the script. They never question the nature of their reality. They just completely go for their whole life, which is all a lie, and all of history is a lie, and everything they're taught at school is a lie. They go for the whole thing. So the devil's a liar, and they go for the liar, and so they obviously go along with the devil. Basically, the entire population of the entire species of humans, with very few exceptions. So few, I don't know how like there's supposedly billions of uh, humans, I would say that at the most, it's got to be under 100 people that have, actually gone up against the system in a valid, meaningful way and found out some truth. It's got to be less than 100 people, you know? So I just don't understand like this human species. This entire species is basically a bunch of slaves that just doesn't mind being slaves. They're cool with it. They're down with it. They live there every day doing that. You see? I don't see it. Like uh I'm trying to think like the miracles that I've done, can't get out of death, can't get out of taxes. Not only have I gotten out of death and taxes, but I've also made that miracle available to everyone. And so everyone is getting out of death and taxes. Now, if those aren't miracles, I don't know what is, right? Getting out of death and taxes. And so obviously the sheriff of Sarasota County knows the next thing I'm going to be getting up to is making sure nobody has to pay for real estate. It's a free country. I don't call it a free country, right? I'll call it a free country. They all call it a free country. You know what free means? You don't pay. So why would we be paying? I don't understand. It's our country. We're within the confines of the country. Why do people have to pay for real estate? Why do they have to pay for food? Why do they pay for electricity, for water? I don't understand any part of this reality. None of it makes sense to me. Nothing, nothing. Everything's a lie, and no one questions it. Didi, I'm a believer of the present more than the past for sure, right? Our proof. Agreed. Proof of this reality is all that matters. Now, I can definitely see that somebody who's doing good, you know, they would nail him to a tree and murder him. I can definitely see that, you know. That's what the sheriff of Sarasota County has basically done his best to incite a civil war of the people to murder the sheriffs and the deputies and the police and the military, because that's who the squatters are. That's the ones who squatted all these houses here. They don't own these houses. The bank doesn't have any paperwork to own any houses. They didn't sign any documents. So the sheriff of Sarasota County is attempting to start a civil war and told the citizens flat out on video to begin murdering anyone they think violates their property rights. And the only ones consistently, constantly, always violating everyone's property rights is the sheriff. It's the only squatter we know is a squatter. Everyone else is in debate. You see? Because, it's like, well, what's the paperwork? First of all, none of the paperwork is valid for any real estate. No, because the bank don't sign any documents, so chain of title is broken for every piece of real estate. So the actual squatter is the sheriff. So, the sheriff is advocating that we murder the sheriffs and the deputies. Those are the only squatters. They're the only ones with the squatters with no paperwork, no valid paperwork. They're the only ones. Because the rest of the place, right? It's a country. We're citizens of the country. It's a free country. Supposed to be able to get all the real estate for free. I don't understand how it could be possibly paying for real estate if we're a citizen of the United States. It's a free country. How can we have to pay the banks? I don't understand. Can anyone explain this to me? Anyone? I don't understand. How can we advocate to find who owes the IRS? Right? Not only just who owes the IRS, but since Ronald Reagan said none of the money that taxpayers pay goes to the services of running the government, all of it goes to the financial debt of the USA. So, yeah, who is, because maybe the owners of the IRS is just, that's part of the Ponzi scheme, and the owners don't pay themselves directly. Maybe that's just a front for some other, cabal. I don't know, if you were running a cabal and had, and let's just say it, you know, they're not human. Let's just say it. They're fallen angels. They're not human. It really reminds me of, you ever see that incredibly, obviously, stupid? They got the Marvel Comics movies and shit. There's this movie called Infinity Wars, and there's this bad guy called Thanos, right? Which means death, like the angel of death, Thanos. But it's a death as an office, as an individual, Thanos, death. And so, right at the end, when Thanos is going to kill half the existing living population, uh, Thor comes along with a axe and sinks it deep into Thanos' chest, right? And nothing happens to Thanos. Thanos says, "You should have gone for the head," and then snaps his fingers, and half the people die that exist. Half of all life dies. And that's really what it is. You see what I'm saying? This species of creature that looks like humans are not human. They literally don't have a heart. You see what I'm saying? They don't have a physically, they don't have a heart. They don't physically have a heart. Why would they need to breathe or eat or do any of these things? I don't understand. They're parasites that treat humans as their slaves. Okay? They don't have a heart. No, you go for the head. You see? You go for the truth because they're just a bunch of liars. And they know they're lying. They're telling the same script over and over and over. And they know they're lying. They know that they actually just worship the devil and do everything the devil says. And they know about the 64-year time loop. They know everything that I know. They just worship the devil. That's all. They've told me to my face. When I say, "Why you worship the devil?" They say, "What are you going to do about it?" And so I say, "I'm going to pray for you right now in the name of Jesus Christ." That's what I answer their question with. And they don't like it and they leave. So we're given a story about Jesus Christ. It is basically 100% a total bullshit. But I met with Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ has definitely, God has stopped, me from being murdered in the name Jesus Christ. So there is a character that exists called Jesus Christ. That's real because of what's happened to me. But the story, stupid. It's incredibly stupid. In fact, honestly, what an easy life that Jesus Christ had. He had like 1 week of difficulties or some crap like that. I've been doing this work for 12 years straight, 7 days a week. I mean, whip me and put me on a cross in a couple days of, you know, a bad life, a couple days? That's nothing. That would be so fucking easy. Jesus Christ lived like the easiest life for telling the truth of anything possible. You see what I'm saying? So that's not even possible that he lived and that was his life. What? It's so easy. It's a piece of cake. His life was so easy. You get whipped and sent through the streets and nailed to a cross. What are you whining about? Honestly, honestly, what are you whining about? Have you ever looked at my life? Are you kidding me? I would trade my life for the ease of Jesus Christ's life and going on the cross in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Well, it was so easy. It's a joke. It's a joke. Jesus Christ's fake story in the Bible is a joke. It's so easy. I'm not saying nothing against Jesus Christ, nothing like that, because, obviously we get a name and, we call on God and God helps us out against the evildoers. Okay. Isn't that great? but our life sucks, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because all we get treated as is a slave. And there's this entire, millions and millions of government employees in every government that knowingly worship the devil and treat us as their livestock, as slaves, as barnyard animals, chain them up, tell them what to do, slaughter them if needed. That's what we get treated like. Didi, do you think they know it didn't happen? Is that why they demand their taxes? I think they know everything, honestly. I think they know everything about this whole script, and uh, I just keep poking fun at them and needling them whenever I'm around them, and they just come out of character. They're like, "Well, what are you going to do about it? So what?" You know, they don't they don't care that I know the truth. They just don't care. They're like, "Yeah, we know. So what are you going to do?" You see what I'm saying? And that's always the right answer. You see, because we have an adversary, the devil, which has millions of minions, right? The entire government population, all the bankers, all of them, they knowingly worship the devil, do exactly what the devil says. They're not even human, they're all fallen angels. And so that is the question they all have on their mind. What are you going to do about it? You see, that's it. That's the question that they have on their mind because they all know what I'm going to do about it because I've already done it. I've already taught people how to do it. That's why the sheriff is advocating for this war, starting in Sarasota County, where I live. It's really sad that people can't see through this at all. So, yeah, I just thought I got, almost a decade to go here. I would, if God would allow me, I'd trade in my life to be Jesus Christ in a heartbeat. What a simple, easy, lackadaisical, easygoing life. Absolutely. Compared to my life, piece of cake, I don't get it. I don't get how people could go for this story and live a life, worship the devil. I don't see how they sleep at night. They know the whole time loop is here. They know they're gonna, get tossed into the lake of fire come 9/11/2033. They're just that's the deal. They're like, okay, and then we just get started again. I just don't, this is the only life that's gonna exist. There's not gonna be another life. There's not gonna be another time loop. There's not gonna be another anything. There was never another anything. And I get that for me, and I'm sure for you, and for anyone, any humans, it's like that's hard to accept. You know what I'm saying? But as time goes on and you logically work through it and you ask questions and you come back to me and all that stuff, you're like, can't find any flaws in what I'm saying, sadly, right? And it turns out all this stuff is true. And so you know, then we're back to the question the police have for me. What are you going to do about it? You see what I'm saying? What are you going to do? That's really the question of our life. What are we going to do about it? You see, because laws are fake, the whole system's fake, everything we're taught is fake, everything. It's a fiction. It's a crucifixion. The whole thing's a fiction. Only God is real, and everything else in our entire life is always going to be fake. Everything. Everything on the news, everything we're told in the past, everything coming up, everything's always going to be fake. All of it. So the question is, what are you going to do? That is the question. What are you going to do? I mean, for me, if I want to eat and have a roof over my head, I have to fight them 7 days a week. This is hard, I accept that this is difficult. We're in a 64-year time loop and we're a slave and we don't get any days off, right? And everyone that runs the government and every bank and everyone with any the smallest amount of power, they were all given their power by the devil worship the devil, and that's the entire system that we live in, and that's never going to change. It's a bit disheartening, you know what I'm saying? Like once you get to this, you're like, okay, but only God is real. The rest of their power, otherwise, you see what I'm saying? I'm pointing out these difficulties to say, obviously, the sheriff of Sarasota County knows exactly where I am all day, 24/7, right? And wants me dead, but can't come murder me. He has given those orders, and they come back without me dead. So, what's the sheriff to do? You see? Make up a civil war. Turn every hey, you citizens, you should start shooting anybody that you have any property rights with. Don't bring him, don't call the sheriff, just start shooting. Well, the sheriff's the only real squatter stealing property. So isn't the sheriff saying start a war with the police, with the sheriff? Isn't that what the sheriff is advocating? Can anyone explain this to me? Am I missing anything? Am I missing a basic point here? I don't know. So I guess, the character Jesus Christ comes on 9/11, 2033. And it's like, you'll go to hell, and the rest of you, this is what happens to you. But I don't know, what am I going to do? That's a question I have for myself every day, and the police have for me, and all that. They're like, what's he going to do? I'm just gonna keep fighting, I guess. Do I have another choice? Can anyone fill me in on it? Do I have another choice? You see? Unless I get $1 million in the bank or something like that, they're just gonna make everything cost so much more money and everything. Only thing I can do is keep fighting for money. Teaching people to fight, right? That's all I've been doing for 12 years straight, right? All I've been doing is teaching people to fight legally without causing harm to yourselves or your family. What are the methods we can do to take assets, to take cash, to take gold coins, to take real estate? How can we use this system and turn it against them? Right? Literally, we're slaves. That's a fact of our life. So, that's what I work on every day. And I'm not going to stop doing it. So I'm just going to be like, how can we beat them? That's all that matters. Nothing else matters to me in life than how can we beat them? I try and be as happy as possible, in my work. I like that when people have success in my work, that's meaningful for them, and great. They didn't die, they don't pay taxes, they don't have to go to jail. All these other amazing miracles that happen for people since they signed this trust. But, I've been making this very affordable for many years, and I'm hand to mouth the whole time. And I got mouths to feed that's not just mine, you know, because for everyone else coming through here that don't, it's not willing to fight all day, every day, anyone that I know, I have to put food in their mouths. I have to put a roof over their head. You see? I have to do that because, they're so worn down by the system of slavery, they're just incapable of doing it properly. They can do what they can do, help with a family, raise their grandson, raise their son, you know what I'm saying? They can do what they can do, uh, but they can't do anything past that, because of their programming, because of their slave trading. So that just means I'm not just fighting for myself, but I have to fight for my family. Same with you. Same with you. Same with you. And life's no different. You know, it's hard to accept that some guy says, "Oh, hey, I'm one with God, and so are my Father and I are one." That's why they nailed Jesus Christ to a cross. I say my Father and I are one. I'm immaculately conceived. Time starts in 1969, right? 9/11, 1969. So I didn't come through any mother. I didn't come through a woman. I wasn't born like that. I just got popped in this body at 8 years old, And here's your paperwork, here's your backstory, here's your bunch of BS that never happened, and off you go. And I'm literally the first individual that's a slave that of a that's a human that has ever figured this out in the entire time loop. You see, no one else alive has figured this out. Millions of them know. They didn't figure it out. They know. You see, what's their power? These fallen angels. Their power is the knowledge they have that the humans don't have. You see what I'm saying? They have knowledge that the humans don't have. And that's what leaves them in power. If everyone else knew what I knew by experience, so if you met with the devil countless times now that I have, if you've been see the police try and murder you and they can't, they can't move their hand and stuff like that, they can't murder you, well, that would be a different reality for everyone. Yeah, so change would happen. Uh, but who's willing to do that? Who's willing to figure out that information? So far, myself. And so far, a couple other people that have used my methods to stop foreclosure, seizure, and some other things. Some other people have experienced different miracles, not dying, a loved one not dying, different miracles, definitely. But has anyone else met with the devil? I don't know. I haven't heard that story yet from anyone. I've yet to hear that from anyone that does my work, which is, kind of makes it difficult, if people don't know 100% the truth by their own experience, it makes them, kind of half baked. You know what I'm saying? Like the cake is half baked. You have a lot of the intellectual knowledge. What Mayor Baba says, you have intellectual knowledge, but that really isn't actual knowledge. You have to have it by experience. So I could sit here and tell you about the devil and all my experiences meet with the devil, but until you meet with the devil, it's a whole different thing, you see? Even when I filmed him the other night, Wednesday night, let me film the devil. I just got the thought, right? My thoughts come from God now. Start a live video. And then a few minutes later, up comes the devil. Like, hey, Adam. He's like, you remember my name? I was like, yes, first man. I remember your name. I remember the devil. He's like, that's great. He's, I mean, Jamie, nice to have you here. Nice to have you here, Alan. Nice to have you here, Dee Dee. Honestly, you three people are some really rare people. Before I read your thing, Jamie, like you really have come to God in a full way and have somehow accepted truth and reality and are basing your reality off of that truth. You're very rare individuals, you three. Uh, Jamie, how do you or did you figure out this out? By my experience and because my father and I are one. I don't, I'm not, do you think I'm lightly saying that I'm Christ? I have Christ consciousness. What does that mean? It means the veil of separation, right? Thinking I'm separate from God is removed by God. That's all that means. And we all have to have that veil removed. That's all. That's how I figure. I didn't figure it out. It's just like this is obviously fake. It's from my experience of my reality, right? Everyone wants me dead. My family ostracizing me. Everyone basically hates my guts. Really, pretty much that's a lie, except for these very few people here and some other very few people. Everyone else wants to be dead and really treats me like that. You see what I'm saying? Family, government, they all want me dead. So, and they've tried to murder me several times, right? 2016, I get memorialized on Facebook, means Mark Zuckerberg creates a notarized death certificate of me and then sends it down and says, memorialize that account, he's dead. And then the guy, Rob Johnson, that I interviewed 6 times on my podcast that I was still doing, that character is murdered the same day, Rob Johnson. And so, I don't live a life like anyone else lives, Jamie. And so I figured this out by the knowledge of my experience. Do you pray a lot and God shows you? I do pray every day, definitely. I mostly pray to others now because once consciousness is achieved at a certain level, it never goes away. So I don't have to pray to be God, one with God. I am. That veil is removed. It'll never be placed back there again. So mainly how the total truth is revealed to me is when somebody who is a servant of God has a question for me, like your questions, Jamie, has a question for me, then God sends me the answer to give to you. God knowing that you don't have Christ consciousness yet, and you do need to answer because you're a servant of God, and you need the right, you need the truth to base your actions on. You ask a question, knowing who I am, I'm given the answer to give you the truth. That's how I know, mostly by questions of real servants of God. That's the way God sends me the information. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, right? Who do I get the information from? The Holy Ghost, the angel Gabriel. That's the messenger of God. That's how I know. Logistically, how is that's the method of how. And Jesus Christ, the New Testament is where you learn about him. That's where the story of Jesus Christ is. But no, that's not where I've learned really pretty much anything about Jesus Christ. The way I've learned about Jesus Christ is go up against the government. How did I start to learn about Jesus Christ? I bet Dee Dee might remember this. But when I started this work in 2012, what did I come up with? My tagline was I guarantee to beat any bank or government for any donation amount. That's how. God's like, oh my God, this guy's gonna need saving. Yeah, see, Dee Dee remembers. I was just like, uh, okay, that my two children are stolen from me. They still don't speak to me. My entire family isn't still after doing this work for 12 years, successfully helping people with all this proof on the internet, all of my entire large extended family still hates my guts and speaks against me to my children as much as they can. So I haven't seen my children for 15 years or something like that. Uh, my two daughters. So I didn't learn any of this really much. I read the New Testament, I would say, a couple years ago for the first time ever. I went to Catholic school. They don't have Bibles there. I figure if the Catholics worship Jesus Christ, then that must be the devil. Jesus Christ must be the devil because everyone Catholic is pure evil. That was, I went to Catholic school for grade school, high school, and college. I just figured, well, they're all evil. They're all liars. So Jesus Christ must be the devil, which it turns out that's not the case. It turns out that God is playing the role of Jesus Christ and the devil. So that's true. We need an adversary up here and we need a savior. We're in duality. Where we need someone to fight against the devil and we need someone to save us, Jesus Christ, God. But who could play the role of the devil? Come on, with all these powers and I could just appear and know everything. That's God. Playing a game up in here. This is a game for your soul. Very important game with your soul is on the line. So I just figured it out by actions. I figured it out by why am I bringing up that my children are stolen from me? Because that created a death. God did that. God stole my children. God created all this whole script that stole my children. I blame it on God, of course. Blame everything on God. How is something outside of God's purview? That there's no God. You see that God's a hoax. So everything is blamed on God. Everything. God stole my children and so created me. God gave me two wonderful, beautiful daughters and then stole them from me using this system, creating a death wish in me. Okay, if I can't have my children and everything's a lie here and everyone worships this devil and everything's fake, then life is pointless. So I can't, right? I go to hell if, I suicide. Oh, so I can't do that, even though my mother wanted me to do that and my entire family wanted me to suicide. I refused, like my mother said to me. You can't live without money. Okay. Well, isn't that up to God? Aren't you Catholic? Wait a second. You can't live without money. I thought you can't live without God. So, no, I learned from my life. I learned from God giving me a death wish, and then I can't suicide. So, how can I make my life purposeful for my brothers and sisters who are also slaves? You're all slaves. You're nothing else but that. You're either a slave of the devil or you're a slave of God. That's all we are. That's all we can be. We can never aspire to something more. That's impossible. So we're literally a slave, and that's never going to change. So who are you going to be a slave of? Do you see? What are you going to do about it? Like the cops. So what are you going to do about it? The cops. Well, what are you going to do about it? How many times have they said that to me? Well, what I've tried to do is expose everything that's true and everything that's fake. And then I've tried to do it by action and proof of documents and everything, 7 days a week for 12 years now because they stole my children. Because God stole, well, it's really God's children. Aren't all children God's children? How are they even my children? You see? Isn't that an ego trip to think that they're my children? No, they're God's children. I did the best I could with them. So, but I mean, that's a great question, Jamie. So I just went up against them. Let me see if God is real. Let me see. Oh, they signed "A God We Trust." Let me try signing one with Jesus Christ and find out if He's real. And then I'll go. You know what I did? That 15 court cases at one time. I put on Facebook. Battle to the death, cage match. The devil versus Jesus Christ. Let's go see if I die. Come on, I invited everyone, showed up the time. This is where to be there in that courtroom and go witness to see the truth. If I die or if I live. How many years ago was that? It's a lot of years ago. 2018, 2017. I don't even remember, honestly. 27, I can't remember. Uh, but that's really the answer to your question, Jamie. That's a good question. I thank you for that question, Jamie. I appreciate that. You remember him, Didi. That's funny. Jamie, I cannot believe how much I have learned from you. Cool. And I have read about 700 books. The things you say, just boom, I get it. No, I appreciate that, Jamie. You're obviously a very intelligent individual, and so is everyone else I hear. To be able to, discuss, hear, ruminate on, think about, and then change your actions based on the truth. All the people in here have done that and are currently doing that actively on a daily basis. So it's pretty amazing. And the devil don't like that, you see. Uh, well, the devil is programmed not to like that. The entire system is programmed to not like that, and so on, and to treat us like crap, basically. Dee Dee, everything Jack says is true. It's sad too. I know I have my uh, stepdaughter yelled that out to me once. Everything you say is true. She's so angry about it too. She still is, and the anger is directed at me, the messenger of the truth. Where people, I'm not the one creating this reality. I'm not the one that made up this whole script. I'm not the one doing this. Why? I don't get why everyone's pissed at me about this. I just figured it out. I'm not the one that's doing any of it. I'm the one that's doing the work to end it. I'm not the one that's doing it to make it happen over and over and over infinitely. I'm not doing that. That's God. Direct your anger properly at God, not me. Don't do it. Like, I'm sick of it, you know? Everyone's pissed at me. Y You know, the Mayor Boblins story is at least somewhat more believable. This guy is just, gets a certain age and he's like, "I'm not gonna say another word. No one listens to me." That seems a lot more truthful and honest to me. Only thing is, the part that's not real, obviously, is that he had a whole bunch of people listening to him and, help him out every day and all that. So, people what? People listen to him and help him out and all that stuff for decade after decade? What? No, no one would do that. Come on. I appreciate the help that I've gotten lately. Al was very helpful in India and so on. It has been a very intelligent individual, very helpful with all research and feedback and a lot of stuff. And his family has been very helpful financially. I wouldn't be have put up all this work on Jesus Christ Trust on that without his family's support and donations that they gave, uh, many times. I just would have been like, I'm just doing bare Mama, it goes silent. Okay, nobody wants to hear it. Okay, forget it. So uh, I can see, some people are helpful. You know what I'm saying? Some people are. And Jamie's given donations, and there are other people too. And George and some others have given donations where it's like, oh, I want to learn the truth. I want to know. And that's the only reason I'm continuing with this. That I get donations, and people want to know, but it's very few people. It really is. It's very few people. You're Dee Dee, you're happy with Alan and his family and Jamie. I am too, and I'm very happy with you, Dee Dee. Dee Dee's been doing this for a long time. Let me say, long time, and you know, she's honestly the only one that's been around here for a really long time. That's still around. Quantum Akashic Soul. All right, grateful for you. Shared the trust course with two more yesterday. Fantastic. Thank you for doing that. Isn't that interesting? The Akashic record, right? Everything is on like a record. The Akashic record, just a record goes around and round and round at 33 mph, right? 33 RPM. Round and round and round we go forever, infinitely repeating time loop. So the Akashic record is always set in stone. It will never change. The script will never change. Nothing will ever change. The United States will always be doing exactly what it's doing. The sheriff of Sarasota County will always be saying that same press release on the same day and trying to incite a civil war. As all of this, none of it will change. The Beatles songs will always be the same. Jimi Hendrix always the same. Led Zeppelin, Crash and Burn, always the same. Nothing will ever change. Nothing. Nothing will ever change. Nothing's ever going to change. So it's really, this is the only pathway to stopping reincarnation. This trust, and then acting on and following through and living, the truth and helping others find the truth, like Quantum Akashic Soul. Oh, I shared the trust with two other people. That's great. That's the only way you can stop from coming back into this time loop, is trying to help others, right? Two commandments: worship God, all right? Love God, love your brothers and sisters. Only actual love that you can give your brothers and sisters is the truth. Everything else isn't really that loving, because really, what's the only goal is not having to reincarnate and get out of here and not be a slave of the devil anymore. Everything else is just a nuanced slavery bit. Like it's not real actual love and help, you know? So, Jamie, but do the people change their actions ever? Uh, People do change their actions, but just almost no one. You see, such a small segment of the entire population that exists that it's almost no one change their actions. You know, it's, I mean, there are people that change a few actions financially and so on, like a Liberty and Academy and so on. People do that, but do people show up here, like at this church website I started, and donate to me and keep this going? And like, how many people come to India? Six. You know, after 12 years of doing this work, only six people were interested enough to go to India to meet with God, which almost every single one of them that came had an individual meeting with God. What else matters in your life? I don't get it, you know? Pause here. LOL, Lord of Light, right? The devil. LOL. We have to watch our prayers. Uh, you know, the spells we're under were programmed to be under, Jamie. So I don't know. Did I move? Got rented another place because the place that we have is so unhealthy to my wife that she was literally dying. And as soon as we moved out of there, rented this place, she quit dying. The doctor said they would have to cut out her uterus, actually, that she was, you know, going to die otherwise. And then I get back, get a new place, and guess what? She's miraculously healed. So I don't know. I did some movement. Didn't get rid of the other place. I'm thinking of fixing it up and solving the physical issues over there because it's such an affordable place to rent. Uh, but I don't know. But it's not like, you know, she's physically healed, but she's very unsettled from this information. She don't want to hear about none of this. This is very difficult information for people to hear. The truth. It's like that movie, right? Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth, right? Who can handle the truth? No one can handle the truth, really, almost no one. Because, man, it's difficult, you know? It's like we have a loving God, but we're infinitely trapped in a 64-year time loop. I mean, how loving is that God? You know what I'm saying? Uh, First of all, I can't really get people to love God. You know what I'm saying? A very few, the people that hear. So let's go to fear God. You know, that's the only way we're going to really get it together. And if you don't have a healthy respect, at least some fear for God, this creature that, you know, this unlimited, infinite being that keeps trapping us in this time loop until we've, you know, met with our Father's approval to get us out of here. That's a loving God. I mean, you know, I met with God, and if you think it a whole thing through, yeah, sure. If you're on a God level consciousness, yeah, it's a loving God. In other words, God, right? When you're in God's presence, which I've been in God's presence, God emanates a feeling, and we're the receiver of thoughts and feelings, right? We receive thoughts and feelings from God. We're stimuli around us. And so, you know, we're in God's presence, the only feeling that is possible to have, no other feelings can possibly be created within us except for how do I serve God? We're receiving bliss from God of an unlimited amount. And the only feeling you have in God's presence is how do I serve you? So God invented this game that's, hey, I'm going to make you feel separate from me, and I'm going to give you these lies. I'm going to find out if you actually love me and will follow my commandments and love God and love your brothers and sisters. And if you actually do it to my satisfaction, right? Not mine, but to God's satisfaction, then I'm going to let you out of the 64-year time loop and you can come home. Is it a dream God is in? You can call it what you want to call it. I don't think the word, is there a proper word to call a 64-year infinitely repeating time loop? You want to call it a dream? I would call it a dream, except for, is it like what you feel real? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it everyone treating you like shit, and treating you illegally and harmfully and doing all these evil things to you? Don't those things actually happen to you? Like, don't you feel that? I know I feel that every day. So I don't know how that's a dream. You see, if the feelings are real. So I don't know how it's a dream, you see? Unless waking life is a dream. Okay, well, if everything's a dream, then if that's the definition of dream, then sure. But I mean, uh, in a way, kind of yes, I guess, because you know, you could say God is asleep to this whole thing, but that's in a way what Bear Baba has said, that God is just, how did Bear Baba put it? Our creator, preserver, destroyer of the 64-year time loop, that aspect of God is thinking this is reality. You see, the only reality that exists. And so it's infinitely creating it and doing this, thinking this is all that God is, and thinking also that this is all God is capable of, which isn't true at all, in my opinion, having met with God. This is just the game one has to play almost for infinity years until they reach the truth and reach God, change your actions, and God will say, okay, your actions have changed, right? We've weighed your deeds. The cross is like, it's like a scale, right? Let's weigh your deeds, and when they're equal, you can leave. How do you equal the scales, right? The cross is like an accounting symbol, right? Debits and credits on either side. When you finally don't want any more debits or credits on either side, you're like, I don't care about this world. Just get me out of here, right? Get me out of this repeating time loop, and do your best every day. Then kind of your scales become balanced, don't they? Because your desires leave for this world. You're like, just get me out of the dome, okay? Like, get me out of the egg. I'm a chicken that's ready to leave the egg. You start pecking and trying to get out of here. You see? That's all. If that's all you want to do is peck and get out of here, and God notices that, and if your actions are worthy, you don't have to reincarnate. Yay. So, I mean, God is thinking this is all that we're capable of, this whole thing. So, I don't know. It's kind of like a dream, I guess. Oh my God. The no lady has showed up. She doesn't. Fallen angels, my God. God love them, because only God could. Fallen angels. I'm out here an hour, 8 minutes, and 36 seconds, and I've said all that stuff over an hour. And then a fallen angel shows up and says, no. This is the level of what we're dealing with here. You see, no. This is our adversary, something here. No. She shot the sheriff, right? I shot the sheriff. You can't reason with them. You see what I'm saying? They're not humans. There's nothing you can do to interact with them to make them accept the truth, change their actions, nothing like that. They just say, "Nuh-uh." Anyone in love can't judge and doesn't judge anything. Oh, right. So what does a judge do? A judge, who I'm not a judge, obviously, and you're not a judge, and no one in here is a judge. A judge goes by fake made up laws, right? Fake made up laws that no one follows, and they stamp down a gavel and they give you a sentence, right? They give you a punishment. I can't give you a punishment, Joanne. I'm not a judge. But this is what the fallen angels say every single time. Hey, stop your judgment, man. Hey, be cool. Don't judge me. It's like, uh, if I were judge, Joanne, you'd be sent to hell for infinity, forever. If I was judge, boom, the gavel, off you go. And every banker, every government employee, I would have, and I'd swing the axe. I'd chop your fucking head off on TV. I'd video that shit and I'd be fucking laughing my head off like I am now, right? And everyone in your family like agrees with you. Yeah, totally. Totally. I did block you, Joanne, definitely. You're just a giant pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything worthwhile. It just complains and says no and obviously a fallen angel, you're not human. So yeah, I'd toss you to the lake of fire right this second if I had the ability. But I'm not a judge. You see? Oh, and I lie. Just blanketly, you're a liar. You're a judge, says the landlady. Oh, anyway, anytime the bugs show up, right? It's just it goes into the crapper. Never mind. She got caught in a big lie, right? I mean, anyway, today's Good Friday. What's so good about nailing a guy to a cross that never did anything wrong in his entire life? What's so good about that? What a name! Good Friday. Hey, anybody try to help your brothers and sisters in love of God? We're going to nail you to a tree. I just want to say, if that were true, I'd be nailed to a tree. You see, I would be nailed to a tree. If they could have done it, they would have done it. They would have killed me, nailed me to a tree, all that stuff, used me as an example. Hey, people, you shouldn't love God. You shouldn't follow the truth. If that could actually happen, that would have happened to me. So the script where they can nail Jesus Christ to a cross is fake, right? Because otherwise, I'd be on a tree. Has anyone alive done what I've done to love God and love my brothers and sisters? Give me a fucking break. No EBT card for Joanne. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's cool. It would be for your person, but yeah. Uh-huh. So let's see. The government is treating you as a slave, right? Stole all the land, all the resources, makes you pay for everything, Joanne. And you show up a here, piss off at me. Not the government. You're not doing nothing against them or nothing like that. You're just taking up my time a here. With I have so many proven testimonials of helping people, you're here complaining about me. You're not complaining about the government. You're not doing nothing about that. Nothing about that. No, nothing about that. Come in and complain about me. Okay. Got it. All your complaints for year after year after year after year after year after year are all registered. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay? Nobody wants to hear from you. In fact, these fallen angels, right? They just are a total waste of my time and energy. So let's let Joanne win this round because the fuck if I want to interact with this fucking piece of shit. You see what I'm saying? Uh huh. So that's right, Joanne. Go complain about me. Don't do anything about your slave owners or the system or nothing about that. Complain about me. Good. Good for you. We see where your allegiance is. Okay. She collects Section 8 and I believe disability, right? Yeah. Hella income in a person. Totally, right? Totally. She gets all this resource and government money, all this stuff, and she uses all her time that she has not to help anyone else, not to usurp the system, nothing like that. If she gets any in, she comes in, doesn't say anything positive about me or anyone else in here, only comes on to complain about me. That is not a human being. You see, you could put an axe in her heart, she'd keep right on breathing. They don't have a heart. They don't have a heart. They don't. They don't give a shit about you or me or the humans. We're simply livestock. Hey, yeah, get Section 8, huh? Oh, she doesn't get Social Security because I guess she's too fucking lazy to do it. And she's too lazy to do the extra paperwork to get the EBT. Sure, in some states, if you're not a certain age or whatever, you have to do some extra paperwork. Oh, you're too fucking lazy. I get it. It's always debilitates into, talking about the fallen angels. We never talk about the truth. Once they show up, it's just a complete waste of my time. And this is why silence, ultimately, like I say, Jesus Christ trust, I'm going to go silent if I don't get any more donations. George gave a donation this week. Thank you, George. That's why I'm here. But if I don't get any donations next week, you ain't going to hear from me. Like, I'm going to go silent. It ain't worth it to me to be doing this and interacting with these fallen angels and stuff like that. Why? I've been doing this 12 years. Uh, you know, I met with God. I have Christ consciousness. So I'm not reincarnating. I'm trying to help you all. Dee does Joanne even have a body? Come on, let's not debate the fallen angels, okay? That's what they want, you know. Whatever story they say, they're just always changing it this way, that way, all this other stuff. Has Joanne ever gone to the classroom and was like, "Hey, I have a question" or something like that? No, she just complains. She just complains. Hey, trust me, if I had enough money, like, some other people had enough money, I wouldn't be fucking helping you, Joanne, or I wouldn't be fucking helping nobody, honestly. So you could thank God that God destroyed my fucking life and continues to destroy my life every single fucking day up in here so that I'm here available to you to help you. Because let me tell you, uh, if I was willing to sell my soul and took that 485 million bucks from the devil back on 3/14/2016, I never would have helped nobody. I didn't think about it for 1 second, but I would have helped anyone. But here I am, helping, helping, helping 7 days a week and getting complained about by the fallen angels. So, all right, let's get on to something else. And I want to say, I've decided to do something new with Liberty Aid Academy. You should join me. Monday at noon is the next time I go live, and I'm going to start a new format, and I'm going to call it game show. And we're going to talk about from now on how to fuck them up. I'm not going to just talk about generally, oh, the trust helps you or nothing like that. We're going to talk about details and how to wreck this place. Every show, and turn it into a game show. Okay, what did you do? How did you get that bank account open at Bank of America? How did you get money? On and on. I'm going to talk about everything. I'm going to start talking. You know what the game is that I'm going to start talking about? Is taking real estate. That's what I'm going to talk about every day on Liberty and Academy. I'm going to talk about, and the game has many parts. So I want everybody to tune in, and this is what we're going to talk about from now on, really, or at least for a good while. I'm going to turn it into a game show. And the game is now, anyone can get the credit up and fill out some fucking paperwork and get a mortgage, right? For a house. Okay. And then you can keep building up your person's credit and all that stuff. And then you turn that credit into gold coins and assets and what have you. Then you turn it into cash and you go down and pay off that mortgage and you get a house free and clear, deed free and clear. Let's start talking about that every day and how we take the most fucking money we can from them all day, every fucking day. That's what I'm going to turn this into, a game show where the government and the powers that be have all the prizes and we're going to fucking take them all. That's it. All day, every day. There's only take. And that's all I'm going to focus on, taking everything they fucking have. They try and mind control us and take our time and take our lives away from us. Guess what? Only thing is, take it back. So it's game show time. I'm starting Monday at noon. Game show. Take everything they fucking have. That's all we have anymore, really. Like, if you've been around for a while, Dee Dee, been around more recently, Jamie, Alan, and other people, you know what I mean? It's the same level of knowledge. Like, what, it's not actually that hard to figure out. Once you hear the truth, it's like, oh, you know? And then it's like, how do we take everything they have? You see? Let's start talking about only that, taking what they have, using the entire system and taking it. And you know what? Somebody's going to come up with some other ways to take shit from them. And that, because what? I'm just going to play game show all the time. And all we're going to do is take everything they have. So other people are going to be out there with the mindset, let's just take everything they have. And that's all we're going to do. It's a game show 24/7. And they have all the prizes. And let's start taking everything we can from them. Everything. Game show. I'm just switching the format. Why, this trust crash course I've been doing for a few years, I'm going to turn it into a game show. What did you take? What did you win? Where's your proof for your paperwork? What did you take from them? Let's just take everything we can. Everything. Just take everything we can all the time. Take it all and nothing else. Give them nothing. We're going to give them zero. We're going to take everything we can from them. That's all there is. Right? No respect for anyone that works for the government. No respect. No respect for anyone that works at a bank. No respect for everyone that follows the programming. No respect. None. Zero. Zero respect. Treat them, right? Talk to them in a certain way so you get the outcome you want. Sure. Tell them what they need to hear, like an 18-year-old girl you want to fuck, right? You just tell them what you want, they want to fucking hear. And then fuck them hard and take everything you can. You see? That's it. That's all we have. We don't have another life up in here. That's it. Just tell them what they want to hear. Here's your paperwork. Here's your thing. And take what they have. That's all I'm going to focus on anymore. I'm just going to do that. And there'll be, uh, financial methods, spiritual methods, the whole deal. Yeah, chime in with new info. That's what I'm saying. Let's just treat it like a game show, everybody. Hey, what prizes did you get this week? Guess what I got? Let's just do it that way. And if nobody showed up with any game or prizes, let's just talk about it. How to take as much as possible. You see? That's all. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen from what I talked about? Your credit report can, of your person can get messed up for 7 years. Big Whoop, right? What if you had a pile of 200 gold fucking coins, like US liberties, right? Worth more than $2,000 each. What if you had 100 of them? You'd be doing a lot better, right? Let's just talk about that kind of stuff. Let's not talk about Joanne or the fallen angels or none of that stuff. They're not worthy of our speech. You see, let's not do that anymore. Let's just talk about taking everything they have. Okay, that's where I am. I got nothing else to say really on the fallen angels except for how do we take everything from them? That's it. That's all I care about. Take everything. That's meaningful to people. We got to pay bills. It's not a free country. Well, we'll take it from you. That's it. So look for that change come Monday. Yeah, thank you, Dee Dee. I'm with you too, Dee Dee. I'm with the very few people that are getting treated like shit because they're servants of God, true servants of God. You treat us like shit. Okay, well, we're going to call on God and we're going to start taking everything we can from you. We got mouths to feed. We got a roof to put over the head of children and loved ones. So we need to take everything you have, and that's it. No remorse, no feelings, no caring. You don't care about us. You don't have a heart. Why should we have a heart for you? We don't. We have a heart for our loved ones and no one else. Thank you, Reagan. Thank you. Thank you, Reagan. I appreciate that. And so, that's really all there is. We have a few people in our life that we're going to care about, that are going to be human beings, that are our loved ones, and we have to look over them. And that's all we have. Uh, Sadly, that's all it's ever going to be up in here. But those actual few people, that love God and serve God, your compadres who are actually out there trying to make a change in their life and their loved one's life and the system and so on, they are actual brothers and sisters. The rest of them, they're just fallen angels playing a part, fronting the whole thing. They're not worthy of your love. So love your brothers and sisters who are actually your brothers and sisters, and the rest of them, don't worry about them. Their day is coming. All right, everyone. I want to thank you for the donations. That's why I continue this. I'll be just continue on Liberty Aid Academy regardless. If anyone makes donations for the church, I'll keep it up. You can thank George this week for making it happen, and you can thank Jamie for last week for making it happen. That I'm here. So thank you both. Uh, Everyone else, listen. I know they, like, good news, got pulled over by police for speeding. You walked up to the window and said you were speeding, so you were free to go. I love it. Thank you, Mike. That's a great one, right? Once you get out from under their jurisdiction. The thing is that we have to do, this is just a reminder. If you want to get out of those situations basically immediately, like Mike's saying, there's one method to do it. It's very hard to remember to do this. In fact, I recommend practicing this quite a bit every day. And that is whenever you interact with a police or government official, there's one thing you got to do, one thing only, one thing. But really two, right? You just let them know, hey, I'm with Jesus Christ. That's all. And then what? Take up your phone, turn on the video, and point that fucking thing at them. That's all. Because they don't want the truth to get out that they have no jurisdiction over us. They can't touch us. They don't want that to get out. So if you're mentally prepared all the time to shoot video of them, why are they going to pull you over in the first place? Are you with me, Mike? Okay. Thank you, George and Jamie. Yes, exactly. Dee Dee, I agree. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So thank you. Mike, that's a great story, and I'm sure you had a great experience from that. Thank you for sharing that. Honestly, I'm happy for you. God bless you and love us in the name of Jesus Christ, Jack. Oh, thank you very much, Dee Dee. And listen, Dee Dee, you've been doing this a long time. I've said this before, and I might as well say it again. If I'm there on Judgment Day, right, and God's like, "Hey, this crazy asshole that's been working for me for this long get up here. You know who? Know what I'm going to do when I'm up on stage? I'm going to say, "Hey, where's Dee Dee?" That's the first thing I'm going to say. Where's that lady from Texas? Right? Get on up here, right? We're contestant number 33, right? 30 and 30. Where's you gave her the wrong contestant number now. Get up here, Dee Dee. What's so good about nailing somebody to a tree because they did nothing wrong? Good Friday. Good morning. We hope you're mourning today. We hope you're sad and discouraged and in mourning. Those stupid places. No, but I mean, Dee Dee, you've been doing this a long time. You've been taking the heat, and that's how we come to God. There's no other way. All right, everyone. Uh, I've been talking for a minute. I appreciate the feedback. Jump on the game show when it comes up. If I get a donation this week, I'll be back here. All right. Love you, Dee Dee. Who doesn't love Dee Dee, right? Reagan, that's so good. Reagan's pretty awesome for a young lady herself over there. Reagan. She went to India, and she was on that list. And she turns out to be a very stalwart young lady and very trustworthy. So we got the real people in here today. It's good to have you all. Oh, you have to meet Dee Dee. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Jamie, that would be wonderful. Dee Dee's someone special. I'd like to be here one day too. And if I got to wait till Judgment Day, I'll be like, where is she? Get her up on stage. Get this lady up on stage. Get over here, Dee Dee. And, oh, Dee Dee, bring the family. Get on up here. It'd be good to see you, Dee Dee, one day. I would do that. I'm telling you what I already know what I'm going to do when I get up on stage. I'm like, hey, Jesus, give me that hug. And I'm like, where is she? Get on up here. The whole family, too. Come on now. What are you doing? Right? 6 people, Joanne. That's all that came. That's it. No more. But I said, Dee Dee's got an excuse that I accept because she's holding down Texas. Nobody else, though. Oh, and Mary. Mary had an excuse too. She didn't have the funds to come, but she signed up and all. Mary Green. After the tax situation, that's cool. So you're going to end the entire tax situation for everyone? That would be nice. No, I'm kidding. Uh, but yeah, that'd be great, TV, to see at some point. Bring the little ones if you want. All right. Listen, everyone. Good Friday, huh? Comes around once a year. 6 people and John is 7. I did go on pilgrimage, didn't I, Reagan? Yes. Yeah. My wife is like, you didn't change. What's wrong with what happened? Like, what? I'm still following the truth. She's like, man. No. No, Joanne, we know there's no support from you. And also from what? How many people are in this earth, right? Is it X billion, X million, right? Joanne, no one's tearing you down. You try and tear me down. So you get that in response. That's all. Do something. Don't complain about something. Do something. That's the difference, Joanne. All right. So, everyone, if I get a donation, I'll be here next week. God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ. Did he die on the cross? No. Is he given all the power? Yes. Is Jesus Christ real? Yes. Use the name, sign with Jesus Christ, and let's get out of this dome once and for all. All right. Pray for Joanne, right? Okay, I'll do it. May Joanne and all the fallen angels get what they deserve, right? May they get what they deserve for following God's orders and being our adversary. You get to go to heaven, right? You get to go to heaven for following your evil script and being our adversary. So that's who's in heaven. So do you want to? Does anyone really want to go to heaven and hang out with Joanne? I don't think so. Uh, I know I don't. So the goal is to go past heaven and hell and go to God. Yeah. So I'm praying for Joanne. Go to heaven and be stuck there again. Good for you. Enjoy your time at heaven. Joanne, you're a great adversary and very stalwart in your denial of the truth. Yeah, I know. I know you know you're going to heaven, Joanne. That's what the point I'm trying to make to the rest of the people in here. You see? Do you want to go to heaven and hang out with Joanne and the rest of fallen angels that were under orders to follow the orders? You have to hang out with them now. It's horrible. You see? You don't want to do that. You want to win this game and go to God and get out of the heaven and hell duality time loop trap. I mean, do you really want to hear from this lady ever again? Come on. Please, you got to win this game, people, all right? So yeah, God bless Joanna and the rest of the fallen angels. Send them to heaven where they belong. The 12 tribes of Israel all go to heaven. Woohoo! We made it again. Let's go back and treat the humans like crap. Out of darkness, light, and some few people will win this game. Without an adversary, there is no game, and there's no one to beat, and there's no way to win, right? And so God created this game, and so that's it. Yeah, Joanne is one already and has already been to heaven and already knows about the time loop and already knows about everything, obviously, and is here as our adversary working for the devil. Congratulations, Joanne. So, this is what I want to say to the rest of you. You want to go past Joanne and past heaven and go straight to God, you see? All right. All right, everyone. Yeah. God bless all the fallen angels and pray for them in the name of Jesus Christ. Keep doing your job. You're born to lose, and I am going to make sure you lose with every breath I take. All right, everyone. Go with God on Good Friday, and I'll see you Sunday. Okay. I'll be talking Sunday at the regular schedule Jesus Christ Trust thing, and then Monday at noon, we'll be doing the game show, Liberty 8 Academy, new format. All right. I'll see you then, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. God bless you all in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for the support.